How does $4.5 billion disappear without a trace? And how could one of the largest financial scandals in history involve everyone from world leaders to Hollywood celebrities? These are just some of the questions surrounding the infamous 1MDB scandal, a case that shook Malaysia and sent shockwaves across the globe. The 1MDB One Malaysia Development Berhad was a state investment fund set up in 2009 with a mission to develop the Malaysian economy and attract foreign investments. Instead, it became the center of an international scandal involving the embezzlement of billions of dollars. High-ranking officials, including Malaysia's then Prime Minister Najib Razak, were implicated in what became a complex web of corruption, money laundering, and fraud. Jho Low, a flamboyant businessman, orchestrated much of the scheme, using the stolen funds to finance a lavish lifestyle, including luxury purchases and even major Hollywood films like The Wolf of Wall Street. With billions still missing and key figures like Jho Low remaining on the run, the scandal remains a glaring example of unchecked greed and abuse of power. Here's a question: do you know which Hollywood blockbuster was directly funded by 1MDB's stolen money? Drop your answer in the comments below. I remember the first time I heard about 1MDB. It was 2015, and whispers began to spread like wildfire. Billions of dollars had gone missing. But this wasn't just any kind of theft. This was a robbery that crippled an entire country. How does $4.5 billion just disappear? That's the question that gripped me, and I couldn't shake it. As I dug deeper, the answers I found were chilling. This wasn't just about money, it was about betrayal. A betrayal so deep, so twisted, it would drag down powerful figures, ruin lives, and haunt Malaysia forever. And then came a name I'll never forget: Jho Low. At first glance, he seemed harmless enough, a businessman, always in the background of high society, attending lavish parties and shaking hands with the elite. But he wasn't just in the background, he was pulling the strings. Jho Low threw parties like no one else. He showered his guests with champagne, diamonds, private jets, but no one asked where the money was coming from. Not at first. But when I uncovered his connection to 1MDB, it became clear. He wasn't just spending money, he was laundering it. Billions, stolen from the people of Malaysia, funneled through secret channels into luxury goods, yachts, and mansions, and every dollar stolen pushed Malaysia closer to financial ruin. But here's the part that truly horrified me. The money from 1MDB didn't stay in Malaysia. It spread like a virus, infecting places you'd never expect. Hollywood. Yes, Hollywood. Blockbuster films like The Wolf of Wall Street were funded by this dirty money. A movie about greed, bankrolled by the very thing it condemned. Imagine that. And it wasn't just Hollywood. It went much deeper than that. Politicians, business moguls, and celebrities, all somehow entangled in this nightmare. I couldn't believe how far this web reached. It wasn't just Jho Low anymore. It was a vast, terrifying network. And as the layers peeled back, I realized no one was safe. Investigators from all over the world tried to trace the missing billions, but it was as if the money had vanished into thin air. Jho Low is gone too. One day he was at a lavish party. The next, he had disappeared. The authorities chased shadows, desperate to find answers. Every lead turned into another dead end. Bank accounts drained, paper trails destroyed. It was as if the entire operation had been designed to leave nothing behind. No fingerprints, no witnesses, no proof. Just when we thought we had cornered the mastermind, another twist would surface. More layers, more lies. The money, the power, it was all slipping through our fingers.
In the end, Malaysia was left with a debt so crushing it would take generations to recover. The price of greed had been paid by an entire nation, while those responsible lived in luxury, far from the consequences of their actions. Jho Low remains at large, a ghost in the shadows, always one step ahead. The billions? Scattered across the globe, hidden in plain sight, locked away in vaults of the rich and powerful. And the worst part, even after everything that was uncovered, the full extent of this nightmare may never be known. The money, the power, the corruption, it's still out there, lurking, just waiting to strike again. As I look back at it all, one question still haunts me. How do you stop a monster you can't even see?
The 1MDB scandal wasn't just a financial crime, it was the unmasking of how greed can destroy a nation. What began as a promise to grow Malaysia's economy turned into a web of corruption that spanned across the globe. Billions of dollars, meant for the people, were funneled into the pockets of the elite. And at the heart of it all was Jho Low, a man who played with billions like it was a game. Think about it. How does someone steal $4.5 billion and get away with it? How does money disappear without a trace, slipping through the hands of governments and banks around the world? It's terrifying to realize how deep this corruption went. This was a betrayal not just of trust, but of an entire country's future, and it left a trail of destruction that's still being felt today. What makes the 1MDB scandal even more shocking is its reach. The stolen billions didn't just disappear into secret bank accounts, they were paraded in plain sight. Luxury yachts, private jets, and extravagant parties were all funded by this stolen wealth. And then, there was Hollywood. Yes, Hollywood. 1MDB money was used to fund blockbuster films like The Wolf of Wall Street, a film about greed, funded by greed. The irony is almost too much to bear. High-profile celebrities and producers found themselves linked to one of the biggest financial scandals of all time. The fallout was massive. Investigations were launched around the world, and while some of the stolen money has been recovered, much of it remains missing. Jho Low, still at large, a ghost in the shadows. The manhunt for him continues, but it seems he's always one step ahead.
But the true cost of the 1MDB scandal goes beyond the missing billions. It's the cost of trust, of faith in leadership, and of the future stolen from an entire country. Malaysia was left with a financial hole that may take generations to repair. Ordinary citizens were forced to pay the price for the greed of a few. And as the dust settles, one thing becomes clear: corruption like this doesn't just disappear. It shifts, it moves, and it finds new places to hide. The 1MDB scandal is a reminder of how fragile trust can be and how quickly those in power can abuse it.
If you've been as shocked by this story as we have, then you understand why these stories need to be told. Corruption, greed, betrayal, they affect all of us, no matter where we are in the world. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and most importantly, don't let these stories fade away. If you want to hear more about how power and money shape the world in ways most of us never see, hit that subscribe button and join us as we uncover the truth behind the headlines. Because sometimes the stories we don't see are the ones we need to know.